WB4BOR Ham Radio. Let's get started. Hey guys, WB4BOR here. I'm here to talk to you today about the new Twitter plugin that I created for APRSD. That the purpose of it is to allow you to send a tweet from your ham radio. Yes, it's possible. All right, let's do this. Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick demo of sending a tweet from the ham radio. I have a little Kenwood THD74 here, which I'm going to overlay on here in a second. But what you're looking at here in my terminal is the actual log file of APRSD that's already been configured with the Twitter plugin. All of the configuration settings are set, and I will talk about that in a little bit of what's required. But I just wanted to give you a quick demo of actually what this does. So I'm going to fire up my Kenwood here. Let's see. And basically to send the tweet, you send a message that starts with T. You can say tweet, but the plugin actually just keys in on the letter T, and then a space, and then whatever you want to tweet. So you say, let's say, hi. And that's it. I'll just make it short. You can send whatever you want. So here we are. There's my message that I'm going to send out. I hit send. I'm sending it to my WB4BOR-13 instance of APRSD. Let's send that. It gets sent. And the tweet has been sent. So let's go check over on my browser. Here on my other display, you can see the log here where APRSD got the actual tweet message, and it got sent an ACK back, and then sent the tweet message that we sent the tweet. And so let's go over here and refresh. And here is my personal WB4BOR Twitter account. And here is the actual tweet that was sent 27 seconds ago. All right, so that's what this plugin can do. And next I will talk with you about what is required to set up your Twitter account, what is required to set up APRSD and the configuration options, as well as installing the actual Twitter plugin itself. That's coming up next. Okay, so how does all this really work? So of course you need to have APRSD. You need to install the Twitter plugin that I wrote for APRSD. You need to configure APRSD with the Twitter settings. And Twitter has some requirements in order for the plugin to be able to talk to it to send tweets on your behalf. So first of all, you obviously need to have a Twitter account. And once you have your Twitter account, then you have to ask for developer access for that Twitter account. That provides bots and programs the ability to talk to Twitter via their APIs. And then after you get access to the developer access to Twitter, then you'll have to create a Twitter application inside of Twitter and register that. That will give you some API tokens. Two of those tokens, the token and the secret, will go into your APRSD.YAML configuration file. And then after that, you create access tokens for that application itself. And those two tokens will go into your APRSD YAML configuration file as well. And I'm going to demonstrate to you all of that, so don't worry. First up, I have a little quick video for you to understand how to go through the process of requesting your developer access to your Twitter account. That's coming up next. All right, welcome back. So all we have done so far is request developer access, which you will need with Twitter. Once they approve that, which is fairly quick, when I did it, it was like almost instant. So don't worry about that. So the next thing that we're going to show is how to walk through the process of using that developer account to create an application and register an application in Twitter, which then you will get the API key and the API key secret, which, as you can see in my terminal here, is required for the plugin. And then after that, then I'll walk you through the process of getting the access token and the access token secret. And both of those will go in your APRSD.yml file, which is needed by the plugin. Let's check that out now. All right, so let's walk through the process of creating your Twitter application, getting your API key secret, editing the permissions of the Twitter application itself, and then getting the access token and the access token secret. What you're looking at here in my terminal is my APRSD Twitter.yaml, which is the config file that I will send to APRSD when I launch it. And you can see that the enable plugins shows that I have the Twitter plugin listed there. That's how it needs to be typed in. All right, let's go over to Twitter, and we go to developer.twitter.com, which is what you went through to create your developer account and access. We'll go over to developer portal, and here's the dashboard. I already have an application that I use for my running version of APRSD, but I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a new app. Go to the overview there. Go to create app. You name your application, which has to be unique. Name it whatever you like, but it has to be unique. And click next. All right. So what you're looking at here is the API key and the API key secret. Let's copy those. Go back over to our config file and add those. The Mac copy and paste doesn't work all the time, so let's try this again. There we go. Got a few extra returns in there. Okay, now we need the API key secret. Let's go over there and get that one. You need to do this before you leave this screen, because once you leave this screen on the developer portal, you won't be able to see these keys anymore, and you'll have to regenerate them. So that's why I'm copying these now. Okay, put that in there. And by the way, after this video is over, I'm deleting this account, so these keys won't be any good anymore, but I'm just showing you how you need to do it. All right, so now you've created your API key and your API key secret. And once you're done with that, then go to app settings. Okay, the next thing you really need to do is edit the app permissions. The Twitter plugin for APRSD needs write permissions in order to send tweets. So we go into edit the app permissions, set it to read and write, click save. It'll ask you if you really want to do it. Yep, I really want to do it. All right, so we only have one more thing left to do, and that's to get the other two settings, which is the access token and the access token secret. You can get those from the keys and tokens area. Go to keys and tokens. If you've correctly saved your API key and secret, don't click regenerate there. It'll give you new ones. You'll have to edit those in the config file again. But what we want to do is generate the access token and secret. It's pretty simple. You click generate, you get a pop-up window, and you do the same thing. You copy the access token into the access token. And I did it again. Let's let's go copy it again. Okay, now we'll do the same thing with the access token secret. Let's see if I can do it right the first time. Hey, there we go. All right, so after you get all 4 of those tokens, then you are basically done with the APRSD.YAML file. And you can say, yes, I save them. Again, just like the other screen, once you click this, yes, I save them, you will not be able to see them again. You can only revoke them or regenerate them. All right, so that's it for the configuration of the Twitter plugin. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, so the very next thing that we're going to do, which is the very last step, is to install APRSD from source, install the Twitter plugin, and then launch it, and we should be good. All right, so let's walk through that process. The way I install APRSD, which is different, this is a Python application. I'll do a full-blown demo video, on how to do this later, but I'm going to walk through this quickly for those that already know Python, Linux. So anyway, let's get to it. So I'll create an APRSD directory. I'll create an virtual environment for it, which is a way to isolate all of the Python dependencies and applications into a single space that doesn't pollute the rest of your system. Okay, now the next thing to do is to source it. It tells your shell environment to use this. And now the next thing we want to do is install APRSD. And we're going to install it today from the GitHub repo. So you'll do pip install git plus and then go get the URL for it. So let's go over to the window here. Go to GitHub, Krager L, which is the home of the APRSD source code. This is where it lives here. And go to code, click HTTPS, and copy. Now this tells pip to install with a git repo, the application itself, and all of its dependencies. So that's what's going on right now. This will take a little bit to do. All right, here comes all the dependencies. And after this finishes installing, we'll verify that it's actually installed correctly by running APRSD command with help. And it should give us the help string, which tells us that APRSD is working and installed correctly. Hurry up and wait. All right, so that's all good. Server-H. Yep, it's installed, ready to go. But before we do that, we have to install the Twitter plugin. So that'll be done by a similar process, pip install git plus. Now let's go to the repo on GitHub where that exists. That's in my GitHub repo. APRSD Twitter plugin. Same thing, select HTTPS and then click copy. As you can see here, this is the repo for the Twitter plugin, which shows some of the requirements that are needed for the APRSD YAML config file, which we've already done. And install the plugin. And it has a set of dependencies as well, but it goes much quicker. So it's installed. We can confirm that by running pip freeze, grep APRSD, and there should be 2 items there, APRSD itself and the Twitter plugin. So now we are good to go to run APRSD as a server using the plugin. I like to turn on debug logging, and then I'll specify my pre-configured APRSD YAML file, which is what we just walked through previously. Tag APRSD. So hope I typed that right. And let's fire it up. Okay, there we go. You can see the Twitter tokens from the application, which I'm going to delete. So these will be invalid, but APRSD is up and running, and you can see here by looking at the loaded plugins that the send tweet plugin has successfully deployed. And that's it, guys. I appreciate you checking out my channel, getting through all this. I know it was a long, involved process, but it's pretty cool to be able to send a tweet from your ham radio using APRS and APRSD. Thanks to Cam6LYW for all the support and help in developing APRSD as well as the plugins. And I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.